Hi, this is Gray Babs here with your first lesson in the online self-directed science course for foundation year. Today I want to open with what's a pretty big question. What is your purpose in life? People will give you lots of different answers to this question. Some people will say it's serving God. Some people will say it's loving your family. Some people say it's being a good friend, being a good person. But biology tells us something a little different. Biology tells us that our purpose in life is to stay alive. And so that's what this lecture is about and what we'll be discussing in some way for the next 8 weeks about diseases and how your body wants to stay alive. So this lecture is entitled Antibodies, Pathogens, and Staying Not Dead. So you should have guided notes in the same folder that you found this in Moodle. You can print this out before the lecture and use it to take notes. As I said in the intro, you are welcome to pause at any time. You're welcome to slow something down, rewind if you missed part of the recording. This is entirely self-paced. It's what works well for you. So, opening up with this question, how do you stay not dead? We're going to think back to thousands of years ago when we did not live the way that we did now, and we had major predators that were worried about us depending upon where you were in the world. It could have been wolves or lions. Let's go with lions today. So you're trying to stay away from a lion. And what are the resources you have to not get eaten? There are two main ones that humans are uniquely good at. One, we're really good in endurance. So human bodies are built for being very good at running for long times, for doing things for a really long time. So we're not the fastest, but we're definitely good at going for long times. Hypothetically, you and I might not be, but as humans, we're built that way. Additionally, we're really smart. We have really big brains compared to the rest of our bodies, and compared to all of the other animals that were trying to eat us. And so our endurance and our intelligence really help us get out of the situation with the lion. We can run really far. We can outthink him. However, sometimes the lion catches you. And before he dismembers you, he could have bitten you. And this bite could have killed you. However, we do have a defense for this as well, which is called our immune system. And the immune system is really good at fighting off tiny invaders, not the size of a pathogen, but could be not the size of a lion, but could be in the lion's saliva. And in keeping the tiny invaders that are trying to kill us out of our body. So the three unique pieces of human bodies that are meant to fight away predators and parasites are endurance, intelligence, and the immune system. So today we're going to be focusing on the immune system. So the immune system works in 4 steps. First, it deflects, so your outside of your body protects your inside of your body from all the things in the outside world. then your immune system discovers using antigens, detection on mast cells, and then attacks them using white blood cells, and then through your adaptive immune system eventually learns how to take care of these things that are trying to kill you, these pathogens. So first, let's think about what the outside of the body is. Again, this is the part where we're deflecting potential pathogens. So the outside of the body, as you might think, it involves your skin, which is your largest organ, the biggest thing that keeps the outside world away from the inside of your body. However, there are parts of the outside of your body that seem not intuitive. It doesn't seem obvious that there are parts of the outside of your body. And this is your gastrointestinal tract. And what I mean by this is that your body is a tube within a tube. So between your mouth and your anus, you have a tube of your gastrointestinal tract, and that is also the outside of your body. And that is also a place where your body interfaces with things that are trying to kill you. So pathogens, as well as lots of good things, but in our case, pathogens. We also have tears and saliva coming from our eyes and from our mouth that are protecting those pieces of our body. We also have mucus, like in our nose, in the back of our throat. We also have gut bacteria, again in the gastrointestinal tract, and stomach acid that are looking out for us and keeping us from getting sick. So now we're going to talk about innate immunity. So it's what you're born with. Everyone is born with innate immunity. This particular kind of immune cells that are looking to kind of take care of anything that might harm you. It's not specific, so it doesn't target specific kinds of pathogens, and all animals have innate immunity. Since it is non-specific, it acts a little bit like a fence, seen here. So it's not going to get everything, but it gets a lot. It keeps a lot out of our system. So an antigen is any molecule that's capable of stimulating an immune response. So this might be something that can make us sick, like a bacteria. And antigens have specific surface features. They're called epitopes. So a little piece of the antigen that is matched by an antibody, which is a protein that is produced by the immune system in response to this antigen. So an antigen and antibody act like a lock and a key. So your antibody is the lock and your antigen is the key, and your antibody protects you against the antigen that is being formed, that is being responded to. Then if you see down here, this is called a mast cell, and the mast cell has all of these antibodies, or immunoglobulin is the other word for them, that exist on their surface, and the antigens, seen in yellow here, come like lock and key into the mast cell. Then the mast cell releases histamines. And histamines are a signaling molecule that make blood capillaries more permeable. So this is the part where we're, again, discovering the antigen, discovering what is trying to hurt us. By making blood capillaries more permeable, so more is able to come in and out, then fluid rushes to the site of injury. So say if you've ever been sick, you may have, for instance, your tonsils or your lymph nodes may be swollen to the touch. That's because fluid has rushed to the site because of histamine. Something may be red, it may be hot to the touch. And histamine then signals white blood cells like something's wrong, come now, hurry and come eat this antigen. So that's what white blood cells do. If you see here in this depiction, we have a white blood cell and bacteria that it's eating, and so these white blood cells are coming and engulfing them. On the right, you see we have a couple of different kinds of white blood cells. We have macrophages that are large, a little slow moving, but they can eat tons of pathogens, as you see displayed in white here. We also have neutrophils that can only eat a few, but they are very quick and then immediately die after. So white blood cells are the piece of the puzzle that comes to eat the pathogen that is presented. So to walk through this again one more time, innate immunity works when mast cells that are patrolling have antibodies on their surfaces. They identify an antigen. So this is the discovery piece. Then these mast cells send out histamine. They make blood membranes more permeable and signal to white blood cells, something's wrong, come here, come eat this now. And macrophages and neutrophils, these types of white blood cells, then eat the pathogen, like seen here in our time lapse. We have the fourth type, the fourth step in this process is learning. So that's what we call adaptive immunity. So it's not what you're learned with, it's what you learn. It's not what you're born with, it's what you learn over time. And it's specific to the pathogen presented. And so we can think about this more like a brick wall instead of the fence that we talked about innate immunity being. So this works, say you've had chicken pox before. Your body now knows chickenpox virus. And if you ever were exposed to the chickenpox virus again, your body would produce specific antibodies to the chickenpox virus, and you would not get sick again. We're going to talk about it a little more next week, but this is the way that vaccination works as well. So you introduce a little bit of, say, the flu virus into someone's body, and adaptive immunity works to learn what that virus is and develop antibodies that are specific to that antigen, so that the body is able to fight it off. The immune system is able to fight it off. If you were to ever encounter the flu in the wild.